For your time this morning. We're going all the way till 9 a.m. But before that, let's have a conversation about technical and vocational educational training in this country. And I've been joined by Matthew, my CEO of Western Regional Coastal Foundation, and Ms. Sheila Nana Boama. She's the Executive Secretary of the National Board for Professional and Technical Examinations, NAPTEX. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. How are we doing? First, Matthew is not new to this set. Let's take a cursory look at the tech vet sector. What does it look like? I'll start with you, Matthew.
Well, good morning. The TVET sector, call the TVET sector, is usually the sector that drives the economy of any country. And it is an important link in anything that we do when we talk about competitiveness, when we talk about local content. Okay. And so what we're trying to do is to make sure that the TVS sector, that there's dialogue around that sector that helps us to bring it into the modern systems.
I see. And so far, so good. Are we making inroads in that particular direction?
I think that there's a general willingness that it is an important segment into the economy and that the government is talking about it. Okay. Everybody is talking about it. We've talked about oil and gas, which is where we're really interested in.
Right.
And you hear that we're importing a lot of workers to come and work, technicians. We need to change that. And the only way you can change that is by having homegrown technical vocational training that meets the standards that the oil and gas sector are looking for, really.
Sheila, let me take your thoughts about this one as well. Talking about it and realizing that this is what we need, is that enough if you look at the sector?
Is that enough? It's work in progress. Okay. Let me start with that. I think that the need for partnerships between government agencies and institutions like the Western Region Coastal Foundation is speaking to is that enough? Okay. We are collaborating to try and improve on the outcomes for the sector. Okay. The National Board for Professional and Technician Examination is an agency of the Ministry of Education. Okay. And it was set up and deals with that space in two main areas. The National Board for Professional and Technician Examination conducts annually national examinations for technical and vocational institutions for all the core subjects. Okay. And this enables them to progress academically into any technical university or polytechnic of their choice. And so the National Board for Professional and Technician Examination is very interested in improving the delivery of technical and vocational education outcomes. Right. It is for that reason that we saw this partnership as a very good one, where we are collaborating with people who spend all their time researching the issues to improve on the sector. So yes, it may not be enough, but it's a work in progress.
Let's look at the lacuna, or if you like space, the D-link between your training, the examination, and the job market. What is it that you know? What are some of the challenges that have come to your attention?
The TVET sector, unlike the research-based education, it is one that is very skills-oriented. And within the skills framework, it's also one that has a competency requirement. So the competency is the bigger picture that is looking not just at skills, but also at knowledge and attitudes. So together, we would form a sector that responds to the needs of industry. But there are a lot of things that must come and work well for skills, knowledge, and attitude.
What are these things? Tell me about
equipping the institutions is one. Delivery of content is another. The structure of the curriculum. So there are a lot of things. There are little bits that must work together to form a certain outcome. And the good news is that we recognize the areas that must be improved, and we are currently working at strengthening them. I can't say it's a perfect fit, but the fact that the problem identification bit is over and we are looking at solutions, it's a step in the right direction.
Ms. Zama, let me come to you now and ask, so the fulcrum of this particular question will be, okay, people go to school, they acquire the skills, they come out, they can't find their jobs. Those who want to go into private practice can't find the big contracts to do, and yet they are competent enough. What's the plan? How do we solve this problem?
You're making an assumption. People go to school, they acquire skills.
Okay.
Those skills need to be the skills that are required by industry.
Okay.
That is where the lacuna.
That's why I asked Sheila that, look, the training is there, the exam is there, they're done, they're supposed to be getting into the job market, but they're not getting the hiring.
Okay. So it is because there is a bit of a gap, which is why we're saying let's have a conversation about the type of skills that are being delivered.
Required by the...
but more importantly, about you can have the theoretical skills.
Okay.
The competency to do things, the practical training that allows you to be able to say, I can fix this thing without breaking it, is lacking. And that is linked back to equipment in the schools. That's linked back to consumables.
Okay.
It is different when you're training an accountant where you have a calculator and you're doing work. When it comes to skills like welding, if you give them all the theoretical knowledge, if they don't spend hours on end doing the welds, making sure that it's good, making sure that it goes beyond fixing your exhaust pipe.
Okay.
Where when you believe that when you take your car with an exhaust pipe problem, when the sound stops, you believe it's okay.
Right.
If you're welding a pontoon, which is supposed to float on the sea, there are different techniques,
dynamics that come along to play. The capacity of those who are instructing these people to learn the trade, or if you like, the technical, within the technical space, do they have the capacity? Do we have the...
I don't think that they have all the requisite capacity, not because of lack of trying, but you need industry experience to be able to make it a way of training. Now, you know that in Ghana, our whole manufacturing sector itself has been in decline for quite some time. So we need to create that environment where both the instructors are getting the requisite industrial attachments, the students are getting the requisite hours of practical training and some attachment, and get industry onto the space, because at the end of the day, it's the industry that uses the outputs of these products, and they have to be at the table, which is why we're setting up this conference to continue that debate. We started in 2016, getting industry, getting government around. WRC, that's the Western Regional Coastal Foundation, really. We're funded by UK Aid, and basically our job is to create this kind of conversations, this kind of platforms
for people to
use.
Sheila, what is NAPTEC proposing? Of course, you have a partnership, the conference is coming up, but what do you propose about capacity building for these instructors?
I think that NAPTEC does not directly interface with the instructor capacity at the technical and vocational institutions. What NAPTEC does is within the framework of assessment and curriculum. In that regard, we are beginning to engage the private sector in the way we do things. We currently have an examination committee, which is a requirement of the law. And that committee is a composition of private sector, industry, and academia. And they have oversight responsibility over the processes at NAPTEC. What this adds, in addition to the need to constantly engage the private sector on some of the key things that we deliver, is that at any point in time, the needs of private sector is considered. And so in our current effort to even review curriculum, we are changing the methodology a bit to look at a private sector-led approach. In the past, we would develop the framework and then we would engage private sector around it. This time we will start with a discussion with private sector. What is it you expect from people who have done higher national diploma?
Right.
What are the minimum competencies they must have?
Right.
And then we work backwards.
Okay. Mr. Ama, I wrap up the conversation with you on this one. So the way forward, tell me when the conference is sitting, what the components are, and then tell me your closing thoughts, the way forward for this.
All right. The conference is on the 17th and 18th at the Best Western Region, Best Western Hotel, yeah,
right, in
Takoradi. And basically, we're inviting as many people as possible who want to talk. It is to really bring industry together, bring government together under one roof, bring academia together, have a good, honest debate about what we need to do to accept and maintain standards and how we can shape the curriculum to make that happen. We are on www.tceghana.org. You can get us also on phone by 0207 845 941 to
You
register.
need to say that again for me.
Okay, it is 0207
Okay.
845 941 to register.
Thank you very much. I wish you all the best, and I hope that we find a lasting solution to these. Thank you. Mr. Matthew Ama is the CEO of Western Region Coastal Foundation. Also, Mrs. Sheila Boama, Boama, have I got it right, is Executive Secretary of NAPTEX. Thank you very much for your time. Now, the